Hello and welcome to Focus on Liberia. Welcome to yet another edition of our program here, the Hour of Politics, always broadcasting from our headquarters in Atlanta, Georgia. Ansony Sieh, the Unity Party Youth Congress is seated. The guys told me they are prepared. I'm like, are you? They say, Sieh, we are prepared. And so, folks, they are here. Do us that usual favor. Hit the share button. Share the broadcast with your contact in a chat room. Share with a neighbor and a family member. Unity Party is the biggest political party, we are told. And so the youth too got to be big, right? Sure. And maybe they got a big talk too. So come, let's do this. I'm Ansony Sieh, and this is the Hour of Politics. At this time, you might be wondering the topic. Well, yeah, it's it. Let me bring it to you. This is a conversation with Unity Party USA Canada Youth Congress, representing the Youth Congress of the Unity Party USA and Canada. We have two representatives, and they are leaders too. So let me bring one of them. His name is King Sieh. And you might want to know who Mr. Sieh is. He is the chairman for mobilization and recruitment, Unity Party, USA, and Canada Youth Congress. That the guy that bringing the people, he the one can go out and bring the people. You can't. This is where the real deal is. Well, Mr. Sieh, it's good to have you. Welcome to Focus on Liberia.
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening to everybody.
All right. Also here and seated, not just seated, comfortably seated, is Mr. Mambia. You want to know who he is? He is the Secretary General. Wow. Unity Party, USA, and Canada Youth Congress. That the guy that can hold a pen, write all the BB book. Yeah, we'll talk to him. He will talk some politics today. Mr. Mambia, it's good to have you. Welcome, brother.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure. And to everyone listening, thank you for watching. If you're in Liberia, good evening. If you're in the United States, good afternoon.
All right, Mr. Mambia, we are happy to have you here. Focus on Liberia on the Hour of Politics. Folks, for the conversation with the Unity Party USA and Canada Youth Congress, we have three segments for this conversation. We'll talk about the Unity Party Youth Congress and its contribution to Unity Party and probably Liberia. And after that, we will be assessing Unity Party stewardship with focus on Liberia's youth. And finally, the juicy part that you like. Joseph Human Bwaka is running, you know that, right? His candidacy for 2023. He's running to be president. The guys are here. The population, if you look at it, is, predominantly youth or youthful, if you like. So he is also trying to see how he can win most of the youth. And that's the only way, in my opinion, he's going to get it. Gentlemen, I can welcome you enough. Let us not waste time. Let's go into the discussion. And let's start with you, Mr. Sieh. Other than the position that you hold, any other thing you want fellow Liberians to know about you before we go into the conversation? Few seconds, please.
Yeah, my name is Mohammed Sieh, but I go by the social media name King Sieh. And I'm a student advocate, and I've been to advocacy for long from high school, university level. I currently reside in Pennsylvania. I'm a student. Yeah, I think basically that's it.
Thank you. And Mr. Mambia, anything you want to add to your portfolio as the chief scribe, they call it, for the Unity Party USA and Canada, please?
Well, thank you very much again. Like he said, Mambia, Tapor A. Mambia is my name. And besides being the Secretary General of the Youth Congress of the Unity Party here in the United States and Canada, I am a business person by profession, financial professional. I'm not a politician. However, I've been in leadership and advocacy role from high school to college to university to this day going. And it's something that interests me. Normally, people will say, oh, it's just politics. it is very important for us to note here that politics is important because people's life depend on it, and we have seen that time with our numbers. When politics goes wrong, people die, people suffer, and the most if it goes right, it is a good thing for all of us. That's why politics is important in every walk of life, no matter where you come from, no matter what your profession is, no matter who you support.
Gentlemen, the word youth, I don't want to say it's kind of debatable, right? But what I'm trying to get to you is when we say youth, who are we talking about? What's the age range? Let's have a little conversation for a few seconds here, a little bit. Let's start with you again, Mr. Soiree. Youth. What's your Liberian definition? What is the international? What do you know about youth? Talk to us quickly.
I think in Liberia, we limit the understanding of youth to be people who should stay at a certain level. We don't actually look at a universal definition of young people. That is age between 18 to 45. That's a universal age range. And in Liberia, if somebody considering to be you, they want you to be okay for a certain instant. They want you to stay at a certain point where they say, okay, this area for adult, young people are not supposed to be there. It's not for you. But they don't understand the importance of youth or young adult as a whole. If you consider a 35-year-old man and you say you cannot serve certain position because you consider to be your youth, I think that's a misunderstanding of the definition of youth. So we actually need to make our people to understand that if you just say youth, it's not just age or maybe 12 to 20. I think that's most Liberian understand.
Right.
Young people. They feel that youth is just certain age when you're not supposed to occupy certain position. And we need to erase that mindset because that alone have continued to carry our country backward because young people are not given the opportunity to serve because we consider them to be at certain age when they're not supposed to serve in certain position.
Thank you. And Mr. Mambiad, in Liberia specifically, I see sometimes some people at age 45, they are among the young people consider themselves a youth. Is that realistic?
Well, universally, under the people 35 and under, universally, internationally, we consider them youth. However, like my colleague said, young adults can also be placed in the same bracket as youth, depending on how you see it. Like in most organizations, you will see the Young Adult Association, and those people can equally be considered youth. That's why when we refer to some of those people, we say they're relatively young people. For example, I would think Emmanuel Macron was a young man when he won the presidency in France, because if I'm correct, he was about 37 years old. You can safely say he was a young man.
Okay. And the idea of young people, aspiring for leadership, even to the point of being president. Are you guys fascinated by that?
Oh yeah.
I am fascinated by that. I like to see young people indulging in these activities. When my friend Marco Tippison was running for the senator of Montserrado County, his slogan was, "We are not too young to lead." No, we are not too young to lead. For too long in Liberia, youth has only been good for, being aids to people.
Munya or something like that.
Yeah, we have to change the narrative now. We have to tell the people that we are equally competent to rule or to lead, as it's been seen across the country and across the world.
And Mr. Soiree, you think you are not too young to lead?
Oh, definitely. I think it's something once the person is qualified and competent, I support you, not because you're from the Unity Party or not. I have a couple of friends who are not a Unity partisan, but I support them politically because I think they have the competence to serve. So if you just say young people should lead, it's not just any young person. You should be competent to serve the position for which you are vying for. Yeah, it's not just because I should support young people because we want to put young people there. No, we're talking about competent young people. And that's my point. If we want to support our peers, it should be a competent young person that we should support.
Thank you so very much, gentlemen. Let's go into the first segment of our discussion here quickly. Let's talk about the Unity Party Youth Congress and its contribution. Gentlemen, so on this segment, I will ask, what is the history of the Unity Party Youth Congress? Be as brief as possible. Let's start with you, Mr. Mambia.
Well, as we all may know, Unity Party has a rich history dating back from 1985 to its founder,
Mhm.
Honorable Bian Kessley, Dr. Bian Kessley, and fast forward to 2005 when I joined the Unity Party. 2011 when I joined the Unity Party, where we had a merger of three other political parties. Unity Party Youth Congress has strived to make young people, when the legs of Amos Twer and other people serve at the leadership of that organization.
Mhm.
Young people were brought to the forefront of the Sirleaf-led government. As we know in our country's history, the Sirleaf Boaka-led administration was the first administration to have promoted the leadership ability of young people massively. If you did not serve in a capacity in government, you probably went to school. So under the regime of Joseph Boakai and Ellen Johnson Sirleaf from 2005 to 2017, there was massive promotion of young people. We saw that young people serve in almost all level of government, from existing ministerial position, director position, up to minister proper, from the likes of Neto Zaza Lai to Yan Twain to Kimi Weeks to Augusta Zize to, you can just go ahead and name them. The Unity Party Youth Congress has been very forceful in promoting the cause of young people across Liberia, because some of those people who even served in positions in the Sirleaf-led administration were not only from the Unity Party, they were from other political parties in Liberia, and the records are there. So yes, Unity Party Youth Congress has championed the cause of young people across our country from different walks of life. And this is what we've been doing from time immemorial. And this is what we hope to continue doing on our potential Black presidency.
Thank you. We'll get to the potential Boaka presidency. And Mr. Soiree, I mean, the contribution of the youth, and I want you to go a little deeper in the party, the working of the party. Go ahead.
Yeah, like my colleague earlier stated,
Mhm.
Unity Party Youth Congress have been one of the major organ of the Unity Party, and they was recognized with a constitutional back in 2010 convention,
Mhm.
and I consider the Youth Congress as one of the organ of the Unity Party. Because if you look at the structure of the Unity Party, the youth are the driving force behind Unity Party. So in 2010, they see it necessary that we need to identify the young people, and we need to consider the Youth Congress as one of the organs. So during that convention, there was an adoption that was made in the convention that considered the Youth Congress as one of the organs. And during the 2011 election, we have competent young people that was very in the forefront of the campaign process of Madame Salih. And we have raised Basigai, other young people must work. So we couldn't just use these people who are recognizing them in leadership roles. So the constitution gives them that mandate as well. And they
Right.
consider the Youth Congress to be one of the organs of the Unity Party.
Thank you so very much. So what is the, hold on here. Yeah, I want to know what premium uh, is being placed on the youth, in the Unity Party that is different from other political institutions. How are the youth in other political party uh, being used? How their skills being harnessed? When you compare that with the Unity Party, what will you say?
I'll I will just go briefly and then my colleague will come in.
Quickly.
The Youth Congress of the Unity Party is still to this day the driving force behind that organization. They're still
Okay.
really forceful. They're still powerful. Their voices matter. And as we know, the population of our country is mostly youthful, and that is exactly the same thing in the Unity Party. Unlike other political parties, where the youth are only used for chanting battle cries
Mhm.
and protest, in the Unity Party, they're a very organized group of young people. They have a seat at every decision making process in the party. They're in constant communication with the standard bearer of the party. And their role is not just to scream battle cries and stand behind people and stand and serve as militants as we see in other political institutions.
Okay, so
just to add a quick to what
Yeah, and I want you to add to that, Mr. Soiree, and I want to know how critical now is the Unity Party youth, now that 2023 is in the picture.
yeah, like my colleague earlier said that Unity Party wouldn't just see the young people as battle cry commanders, give them opportunity because we believe we have a lot of competent young people. If you remember during the by-election in District 13, Cornelia Kratapa was given the opportunity for Unity Party to serve and contest the representative by-election. That tells you the level of premium we give the young people in Unity Party, not just consider them to be a battle cry commander or what have you. So once we see competence in you, the party also help to promote you and give you that opportunity. So there are a lot of young people. Today we have our legislative liaison who was just appointed by the national chairman. He's a young man as well. So we have a lot of opportunity for young people, and the party recognize the effort of the young people in every aspect they do. So that's the point.
Thank you. And Mr. Mambia, let me come to you. You said the youth is represented at all levels, leadership positions in the party as well as government, that you promoted even many young people. What I want to know now is the youth always at the table when it comes to policy decision making? How involved is the youth in deciding the policy, especially the population of our country, predominantly youth. So if any decision is made, it will affect the youth more, impact them more.
Yeah.
I mean, is the youth at the table on all policy decision in the Unity Party?
To the best of my knowledge, the youth organization, the Youth Congress, is at the table, is given a seat at the table in all policy decisions in the Unity Party. We have representation at the National Executive Committee, the National Coordinating Committee, and all of those things. And even with conversations with the Senate bearer, we normally afforded the opportunity to meet the Senate bearer on a regular basis and have a conversation with him to abreast him on how the young people are thinking in the country and how we think we should be going, targeting a more youthful population. And here in the United States, it's the same thing. We have representation on the National Executive Committee. In fact, most of the people in the hierarchy here are mostly young people, and mostly youth. The Secretary General, the two vice chairmen, they're mostly young people. And so, yes, to the best of my knowledge, the young people always have the seat of the table when it comes to critical discussions in the Unity Party.
Sorry, do you believe that? Is that reflected right now as we speak?
Absolutely.
Within the inner circle of your current presidential candidate?
Absolutely. I can tell you, I stand to be corrected. Unity Party have the youngest spokesperson in terms of representing the party as a national level. Yeah. So that tells you how important we consider young people's contribution to the party. We have the youngest female spokesperson for the party. So not just the Youth Congress, but at all levels, we have young people serving leadership positions in the Unity Party. So it's not just the Youth Congress, but at the executive level, level as well. So it's not just the Youth Congress, because the Youth Congress also being recognized through the Constitution at the EC. So the Unity Party gives serious consideration to the contribution of the young people.
All right. Thank you, folks in cyberspace. You are watching Focus on Liberia. I'm Ansony Sieh hosting. This is the Hour of Politics. We are in conversation with Unity Party USA and Canada Youth Congress. Mr. Soiree is here. Mr. Mambia is here. Mr. Mambia is the Secretary General, and Mr. Soiree is the Chairman for Mobilization and Recruitment. Gentlemen, let's move to our next segment, which is assessing Unity Party's stewardship with focus on the youth. In this segment, let's talk about education. A specific portion of education would be of youth empowerment, employment. So let's talk about that. Knowing the demographics of our country, youth empowerment and employment, there should be robust programs geared towards giving the necessary skills to majority of the youth, most of whom were affected by the war and being delayed. Did the Unity Party have any robust programs in terms of empowering the youth with skills that will make them to earn a living? What did that happen under the Unity Party wise for the time you were in power?
Definitely. Like you said, Liberia suffered 25 years of economic mismanagement and 14 years of
Mhm.
civil conflict. When we took over 2005, after the 2005 election, that was a major challenge for the Unity Party government. And the first thing the Unity Party did in order to promote young people was the Scott Fellowship Foundation. In the Scott Fellowship Foundation, they created a 1 year opportunity for young people to be placed at assisting uh, positions to top government officials. And these young people were given the opportunity to get exposure, and some of them were given the opportunity to go outside and have quality education. And that program ran from 2007 up to 2010. That was youth empowerment program. And after that, we have the President Young Professional Program as well. And the President Young Professional Program also provided opportunity for young people for 2 years as assistant KDL and get experience with top officials. So United Party was basically focused on the empowerment of young people because we believe the war have serious effect on the young people. The women and youth were the main victim of the war, the 14 year civil conflict. So when we took over, we saw that as a challenge. And how can you build a society with almost 60% of the young people are illiterate? They don't have the opportunity. So United Party have opportunity to promote young people, empower them in every other capacity. And that's what
Yeah,
they saw.
you only talk about one program that you need, right? That had kind of empowered them. Was that the only one? I mean, were there institutions, maybe existing institutions that were renovated,
No,
empowered, and dedicated to training the young people?
it was never existing. It was established 2007. That was launched. The Scott Fellowship Foundation was launched 2007.
Mhm.
And that program ran from 2007 up to
Mhm.
2010.
Yeah.
And it provided a one
Bring
year
yourself in the middle so we can see you. Yeah,
yeah,
thank you, sir.
and it provided 1 year opportunity for young people to
Mhm.
serve as assistant to top government officials. And that opportunity was given up to 2010. And then 2010, we have another program, the President Young Professional Program, in similar direction. And we also have scholarship program that give opportunity to young people to go outside and have that quality of education and come by. And we kind of
What's about the technical area? Because what you're talking about is to make people honorables in government. This is the thing that we've been doing in our country. You know that the engine of any country is the technical aspect of the country. You know, capitals, you know, masonry, all these kind of technical skills that we need to build the country. And now people sitting in executive chair in some offices that don't basically do anything than look at papers. I'm talking about vocational skills, technical skills that will empower the Yakbawuro in Nima or the Nabwe in Grand Cru County. I mean, did you do that? I mean, give me an example, the institutions that you built to do so.
Yeah, I will drum on that real quickly. The
Yeah.
vocational, there's a program in Liberia today called TVET.
Mhm.
It has to do with MVTC and other vocational institutions around the country.
Mhm.
Under the last person who headed that program under the Sir Lively administration was Assistant Minister Bwaka Jaliba. He
Mhm.
headed that program, making sure that we had programs and grants and a partnership with other institutions to make sure that vocational and technical education was was assessed by as many youth as possible in Liberia. And that
Mhm.
program extended to LSVTC in Yekepa Nimba County. Yekepa Nimba County. And the
Mhm.
reason why Yekepa became a focus is because we had the mine, the company there. And
Right.
most young people living in that area will need technical education to be able to work with the company. So under the TVET program, we capture um, most of those technical institutions around the
Give
country.
me
For
some of
example,
them. Need some of them.
Sinjie Polytechnic in Grand Cape County, LSVTC in Yekepa Nimba County, the MVTC in Monrovia, and the
And
list
what are some of the skills that they were providing with these young people?
electrical engineering,
Mhm.
electricity, and a lot of different programs, building construction, mechanic, carpentry. Most of these hands-on technical skills that young people will need were captured under the Sir Lively administration, and not to be overlooked. The President Young Professional Program he talked about wasn't political. That has really helped a lot of young people to excel in different capacities, no matter what political party you came from, no matter they didn't matter the school you came from. They were looking for the best and the brightest minds in the country to nurture and make them better people.
And,
They
and,
were
and
taking
Mr. Mambia, if I may interject, if the Unity Party had these programs going with emphasis on the youth, how come the Zogo population is growing by the day? Is it that you didn't do a good job or
Well,
what?
I will come to that. I will come to that in a second, right? I will come to that in a second.
Please
But let
quickly.
me let me just conclude my thought on what I was saying. To the
Mhm,
extent that the Liberian youth were captured under the national budget,
mhm.
you can go and check for this. And there were $5 million after 2011 in every budget allocation for people to go to school, for young people to go to school in Liberia, both internationally and locally. And you, I mean, this is not debatable. This is
So
not.
are you sure of the $5 million? Was it in every budget or for the most part?
The records are there. The budget is public document. You can go and
Okay.
access the budget. The budget is public document. So yes, and people were able to go to school here in the United States. I did not benefit from it, but other people benefited from it. In Britain and other African countries, for example, GAC, there were a lot of scholarship program at the General Auditing Commission, which a lot of young people took advantage of. Listen, we before the war, we had the common saying that the illiteracy rate in Liberia was 87%, even though the we administration had failed to conduct a census that was supposed to be conducted in 2020. But I'm pretty sure that when that census is conducted, the illiteracy rate in Liberia would be well below 50%.
All right.
Thanks to the Self-Led administration from 2005 to 2017, a lot was done for the youth. And now the Zogo population, the at-risk youth that we talked about, that
Mhm.
is a transition from the civil crisis to today. I must tell you that
And you had a very good length of time though
right,
to change
yes,
that, right?
I must tell you that every one Liberian youth who is on the street is one too many. But that situation could have been worse. Why? Because we were coming from an active civil war into transitioning. So the process between disarming, demobilization, and rehabilitation, not everyone took advantage of that.
I'm
Some
not
youth.
sure you have made that as a priority when you say that.
Oh, the rehabilitation process in Liberia was a major priority under the Shirley first term. I mean,
And then how
the
come
Shirley
you
first
committed
term.
only 5 million, according to you, to
The
the
five
youth of
million,
Liberia?
the 5 million wasn't even the 5 million is a whole separate initiative. The disarmament process, like we all know, were handled by the United Nations in
Okay.
collaboration with the Liberian government. And
Yeah.
so a lot of people did not take, a lot of other people only wanted it to get into it for the money, but not for the real rehabilitation. We know
Thank you.
how much money in the world spent on rehabilitating Liberian youth. Some of the
Thank you.
people we see on the street today were ex-fighters who did not take advantage. And like I said, a single Liberian youth on the street is one too many, and we need to do more to get those people off the street.
Thank
But I
you.
can assure you that that situation could have been worse had the Selly administration not have really good programs for young people.
Thank you. And Mr. Soiree, let me throw this at you so that you can flow on it too. He talked about 5 million. As I look at the budget, the office of the president was netting somewhere around sometime about 21 million, 15 million, 16 million. And you're talking about the youth of the country, according to him, $5 million. Talk to me. We see the the Zogos, the population is growing by the day. Did you do a good job?
I think you're actually not understanding the point he's making. 5 million was not just only for young people. The 5 million was a special allocation for education for young people. There were so many technical programs that young people took advantage of during the selling government as compared to now. And some of these programs, unfortunately, we are government stopped most of these programs. That's why you see the increase of Zocos on the street today, because most of these programs were stopped by we administration, and because they felt that it was in favor of the United Party government. No. United Party saw that the young people were the main victim during the 14-year civil conflict. So they created this opportunity for young people to benefit from it directly. So the 5 million is not just for the entire young people program. There was a lot of program, technical program at various level. So 5 million were put aside for education program in other areas. And there were even more than 5 million for educational program. Yeah. So you see that? So, and when the we are government came in power, they stopped most of these programs. That's the unfortunate part. So you see today the increase of Zoko is not because the government never do well. We did extremely well, but the government is continuing with it. But if we are government stop most of these programs, and today our people have been the victim, and that's say a whole lot about the incorporation of we are government. That's what we're saying. It's not like we didn't do well. We did extremely well.
Are you telling me that besides or in addition to the $5 million, there was other appropriation in the budget targeting the youth?
Yeah, like other technical program was available for young people.
Yeah,
so the $5 million was not,
for example, besides the
part of the allotment for the TVET program he talked about at the Ministry of Youth and Sport.
Yeah, besides that, you see how many community colleges were constructed across the country?
Sure.
In my own county, Nima County, the Nima County Community College was constructed. The Grand Bassa Community College was constructed. The Bon County Community College was constructed, and that was under the Unity Party led.
And you think those were from budget items in the budget, or those were funding that were
some was
brought in by donors?
Partners. The thing is, you won't just get a partner if they don't have credibility in your government. Credibility speaks a whole lot about your administration.
Yeah.
The government have the credibility to
so
work.
Other people bringing some money in to help with the construction of these schools and all that, right?
Sure, definitely. So the family was not just the only area, but we have, like you said, there were a lot of technical colleges that were established or constructed to help the young people to rehabilitate their mind. And when the government came, they cut most of these programs down.
Thank you.
And today, the increase of Zoko we see in the infant, the only thing when you call back, the only thing you hear Lone Star Orange and what have you, is Zoko, the country is not even safe.
Thank you. So let's come to the area of technology. Technology is key. It's big. It rules the world today. You have a good length of time. I want us to focus on mass computer literacy program. Let's talk about things like coding for young people in Liberia at a high school level or elementary level. Let's talk about internet access. Will you give your government a C manuals, B manuals, an F or a D when it comes to providing mass computer literacy program in Liberia? For programs like coding and internet access? What grade will you give your government?
Listen, let me just come to that 1 second. We all know the communication. First of all,
I want you to give me the grade first, then you can justify your grade.
It's not I will give a B+ to the government when it comes to providing, opening Liberia.
So let's talk about mass computer literacy program. You say you're giving your government a B+ on mass computer literacy program?
Yeah, I definitely will do.
So where we had this computer literacy program, name me some counties.
Can you tell me where the budget of the government of Liberia was?
No. We're not talking the budget. We are talking mass computer literacy program.
So
in counties where we have mass or computer literacy program. You know we need that.
Let me come in quick.
No. Let Mambia finish his talk.
Right?
Yeah,
I was fortunate to have graduated from the Stella Maris Polytechnic. At the Stella Maris Polytechnic, we did online courses. When I tell people to be like,
I'm talking about government program, Mr. Mambia. Tell me, did the Sieh administration have any mass computer literacy program in Liberia throughout the 12 years? Did you?
So I think where you were feeling to realize.
I'm not feeling. I'm asking you a question. Look, you know very well. May I hold you there? You know very well the importance of computer literacy in this 21st century. You know that. And that is what I'm asking you. And that was something we needed at the time. Did the Unity Party give Liberia or the Liberian youth a mass computer literacy program? I can name you countries where they're doing that right now.
The YMCA Youth Computer Program was a.
You're talking about YMCA. I'm talking about the government of Liberia on the Ellen Bwaka administration. Did you give the youth of Liberia a mass education or computer literacy program?
Let me jump to that question.
All right, go ahead.
The first thing, I would agree with my comrade by giving the government B+. Because before you even talk about...
Even though you have zero mass computer literacy program and you're taking a B for that.
Come and give me a chance. I'll give you a B for the fact that when we have our 14-year civil conflict in 25-year...
Go to history.
Hold on.
History.
First thing, there was no electricity. Before you even talk about computer electricity program, you have 4 access to electricity. What we did as government, we first prioritized the hydro. We brought the hydro, partial hydro. Before we talk about technical...
So with the partial hydro, you can get a mass computer literacy program going, don't you?
Hold on, Sieh.
Okay.
And when we brought the hydro, what we did, we brought in technical colleges. And at those technical colleges, we have computer programs. We have other areas that young people could take advantage of. And now what we did, we didn't just
have mass computer program, computer literacy program at the colleges.
Go to the various colleges.
What about the high schools? What about the high schools?
You're talking about government program. I'm telling you now, we have these things.
You give me your answer. You say you have mass computer literacy program at the colleges. I'm asking you now for high school. Did you have some at the high schools?
I'm telling you, this is not something like a secret. Go at the various technical colleges and check for yourself.
You answered that question. I'm asking you now about high school.
In high school, what happened? We have program in high school because most of the high school in Liberia were not fully functioning.
You want to answer my question directly? Did you have mass computer literacy program at the high schools in Liberia?
I would say yes, because I graduated from Morava College.
And you think that is an honest answer for anybody listening to you to believe?
I'm a student. I graduated from Morava College, and I have computer program at my school. Other high school have computer program.
Are you understanding my question? Did you have mass? Do you know the word mass, what it means?
See, I understand your question where I answering your question.
And you said at the high schools in Liberia, under the Ellen Bwaka administration, you have mass computer literacy program in Liberian high schools.
We have computer program at Liberia high school. Not all the high schools have computer program, but most of the major high schools have computer program.
Most of the major high school in 12 years.
Yeah.
So some high schools are not major, right?
Mr. Sieh, you should understand that.
So let's talk about the elementary schools. Elementary schools in Liberia. Did you have mass computer literacy program at the elementary schools in Liberia for 12 years? Did you?
Mr. Sieh, listen. Let's put this thing into perspective for a second. You should first of all realize that we had a problem coming into Sirleaf 12 years. First of all, there was no electricity around the country, and then you had to put that into perspective before talking about computer. To have computer, and you must have internet. What you must know, it was under the Sirleaf and Bwaka administration for the first time that some of our friends even saw computer. Some of our friends were fortunate to have seen computer, and some people learned computer. It was between the year 2005 to 2011 that I personally was fortunate to learn computer. I graduated from school in Nimba County. We didn't have electricity in our schools. How will we then have computer program in the schools? People who went to school in Monrovia, yes, some of them, JJ some of those places, yes, some of them did have access to computer. But see, what are we talking about here? If we didn't have electricity, how will we have computer? Or how will we be talking about internet? I'm telling you, when these things were put into perspective, yes, computer literacy, information technology was brought to the young population of Liberia for the first time.
Thank you, Mambia. And I need to do Soiree justice here to give him enough time, to clear, his chest, because he has something, because I was holding him down. So Soiree, give me a little moment here. Let me do something for you, and I'll give you time to speak uninterrupted. Gentlemen, we are talking about our country. You are smart guys. You know the power of the computer. The computer literacy in Liberia, I would say, is zero. If you look at the population, you have 12 years. You are Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. She was the darling of the world. If Ellen had made that her plan to carry on mass computer literacy program, even without the government budget, it would have been achieved. You, the young people, should have been the one to say, Madam, in this country, there's mass computer literacy program going on. I want my lay brother in elementary to get that. That was not done, guys, and you know it. Let me give you the chance now to go.
Your analogy is giving is like if somebody intends to build a house and they want to start building from the roof. You cannot jump to computer literacy program when you don't have access to electricity. You cannot jump to computer program when you don't have a refined youth population.
Yeah. It seems to be innovation is lacking.
No.
That's how you tell me.
No.
Innovation is lacking.
The first thing
there's something called generator. You can get when the 5K, anyway, let me give you a chance to
thing we did, the first thing we did as government,
right?
We knew very well young people were the main victim of the 14-year civil conflict. We needed to refine the young people mindset first. And how we did that? The rehabilitation program. We use the rehabilitation program to do that. And we use some technical colleges to refine the young people. And we use the Scott Fellowship program. We use the President Young Professional program. So once you refine the young people's mind, and then you come to the internet.
You can do that by using the computers.
But Mr. Sieh,
let's Farrell land. Guess Farrell chance to land.
Yeah. So you cannot do all of these things when you don't have these things put in place. So the internet was the next priority, and that's why we talk about the hydro. We brought the electricity, and the next thing we have, the technical college have most of the computer program educating young people. So it was not just because we never prioritized it. Ellen was the darling girl of the war, so she could do everything. No, you have to set a target, and that's why many leaders fail in Liberia, because we want to move everywhere in place. You don't have a target. And Ellen target was first to connect Liberia back to the war international community. Two, to refine the young people's mind and build a capacity, which she did extremely well in that. So she couldn't do everything.
Mr. Soiree, you gave yourself B plus, and you can show all the B before the plus. But let me progress. You were talking about internet, gentlemen. I can't explain to you the power of the internet. I understand that at some time the Ellen administration started some work trying to bring the cable from the sea. That did not materialize. Internet is powerful. I would think you feel. Will you agree or disagree?
I wouldn't agree to that. I wouldn't agree. Now you're alluding to the fact that Ellen brought in cable. So when Ellen brought in the cable, when she
said attempted. Where is the cable now?
Hold on. See it.
And let me say this to you. I just remember the research. There was research that was done in 2012. We had a gentleman called Dr. Leon, I think Leon Bernard. He's a Liberian, live in Washington, D.C. This guy, technology that his area. They did a research in Liberia to build the internet infrastructure in Liberia was placed at $65 million, according to him. He was part of that research, if I'm not mistaken. So all the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf administration needed to do was to spend or raise that $65 million to build the internet infrastructure in Liberia for us to have reliable internet in Liberia. The Ellen administration failed to do that. That is why we don't have reliable internet today. Make your case. Let me hear you.
See, let me disagree with you for a second. First of all,
are you aware of that study? First of all,
I'm not aware of that study to start with.
You guys not doing research, man.
Yeah, no problem. Secondly, you know why the Liberian economy remains stagnant to this day? Not just for internet, but for every other thing. It's because of the electricity situation in our country. The cost of running restaurants.
And you couldn't solve that problem in 12 years. You rehabilitated a hydro that was almost completely useless. You wasted that money. Do you know that?
Mr. Sieh, if you
could have built a brand new one.
If you just give me 1 minute to
go ahead,
my thought, maybe we will understand each other.
Go ahead.
The reason why the Liberian economy remains stagnant is because of the electricity situation in our country. You are here banging on internet. We cannot run internet or a real internet without a steady electricity. For example, the telecommunication system, you know how much they pay to run 24-hour power for the whatever the system they're running. If we have steady electricity in the country, the cost of living in Liberia will decrease. The Unity Party did a very good job. In 6 months of Madam Sirleaf assuming power, we have electricity in Monrovia.
That's symbolic in Monrovia. You know, gentlemen,
yes,
I mean, it was just
symbolic.
Monrovia. It was just Monrovia. Monrovia is not Liberia.
Give me a second. It was symbolic. Before the end of the Sirleaf administration, the hydro was fully renovated, up and running. It was up to this government to harness the power of the hydro to solve the electricity crisis in Liberia today, which they have significantly failed to do.
So are you saying you solved the electricity crisis in Liberia during your administration?
Renovated the hydro. The hydro was up and running, fully up and running. The Mankofe hydroelectric power was fully up and running.
So how many residents or how many homes were connected by your government?
Before Sirleaf left power, we updated the hydro now in the hinterland.
How many homes were connected? It's not just building the hydro.
Here I am coming for a second. And in the hinterland, from Nimba, where I come from, we brought in the West African power pool from the Nimba Grand Jida and the Nimba Grand Jida and the southeast, part of the southeast, because the Grand Jida and Maryland County, those places that are also bordering Ivory Coast, we brought in a West African power pool from there. So the electricity situation under the Unity Party-led government was mostly coming together when the administration
was coming together, but never came together.
Yes, nobody has magic wine to wave.
Okay.
For the hydro that you say money was wasted to have been renovated, it took us to pass the MCC requirements to bring in $256 million, which we used to renovate the hydro. That hydro was at full capacity when we left office.
I'm sure you heard what the U.S. ambassador said about
when the Sirleaf administration left office.
I'm sure you remember what the U.S. ambassador said about the money that's been wasted, and then that thing is not even serving our people well.
The thing is not serving our people well because the people who are in charge to make it serve our people who are not doing their jobs. Period.
All right. Let's come to Mr. Soiree. Yeah, Mr. Soiree, make your case on this electricity thing, brother.
Yeah, like I said earlier, we did extremely well in terms of reconnecting Liberia to the rest of the world because Liberia was completely destabilized. The entire system collapsed. We have no electricity. The hydro was zero. We start from scratch to rebuild the hydro. The hydro was not in a renovation because that was a rebuilding process. We rebuilt the hydro to a capacity where we could supply half of Monrovia with electricity. And that happened. Like my colleague said, we also connected the southeast, part of the southeast. So things were coming in place. After 14 years...
Southeast is where you connected.
After 14 years of civil conflict, you don't expect everything to happen overnight.
Well, you didn't connect the Southeast by electricity. You guys know. We don't even have road in the Southeast. We don't have road in the Southeast. Then you're talking about electricity, guys?
Ellen connected the highest road construction in Liberia history.
All the roads in the Southeast have been paid.
All right, gentlemen, let's move on.
I don't know if you say you have no road. I don't know what you're talking about.
Gentlemen, let's move on.
Yeah,
gentlemen, let's move on. Folks in cyberspace, you are watching Focus on Liberia. This is the Hour of Politics with me, Ansony Sieh. I have with me two officials of the Unity Party USA and Canada Youth Congress. That is Mr. Tokpa A. Mambia, who is the Secretary General of that institution, and also Mr. King Soiree. He said he goes by the name King Soiree on social media. Why you didn't give me your official name? You're going to pay fine for doing that. All right, folks, let's come to another segment here, gentlemen, which is the one many Liberians might be paying attention to. Joseph Yaman Boaka and his 2023 candidacy for president. Mr. Boaka is running to be president of the Republic of Liberia. Gentlemen, let's get started with this segment here. First question. Manion's Ellen support. GMB stand a very narrow chance of winning in 2023. Is this a true statement, gentlemen? Let's start with you, Mr. Soiree.
The first thing, I'm a little confused when you say Madam Ellen support, because as far as we're concerned, Madam Ellen is a Unity partisan, and as Unity partisan,
who did not support Boaka the last time?
Hold on. As a Unity partisan, she have a constitutional mandate to support an extended birth from the Unity Party. So, as far as we're concerned, Madam Ellen support.
Is your constitution a Bible?
As long as you remain a Unity partisan, it don't have to be a Bible. Okay. I pledge allegiance to Liberia through the Constitution gave me the right to do so. So it's not a Bible or Quran verse, but the Constitution gave me the power to.
But Mr. Soiree, she did not support Mr. Boaka the last time. That's why I'm asking the question.
That is an assumption. People That was an assumption. There's no fact that she never supported Madam Joe Buckeye to the last election. So I'm not going to go into that because we have problem, but that does not mean she's not supporting United Party or she's not supporting Joe Buckeye. She still remains a United Partisan. As far as we're concerned, she supports Joe Buckeye to the fullest. So if you say if she managed to support,
so what did she do to demonstrate that fulness we're talking about?
Assumption. We don't want to base conversation on assumption.
So given the facts, what ought did she do to show that she was behind JMB in the past election?
Are we talking about 2023 or talking about 2017?
I just giving an example. She did not do it.
If you're going back because you said JMB 2023 and now you're going back to 2017. So I'm telling you, moving forward, what happened in 2017? It happened. We have issue in the party and we reconcile.
So you agree that she did not support Mr. Barker in 2023?
No, having issue that does not mean she never supported the party. Get that straight. Having an issue in the party, that doesn't mean she never supported the party. And moving forward,
so she supported Barker.
Yes, as far as I'm concerned. So we reconcile the difference in the
party. And you think that is a true statement?
Of course.
This is the number one partisan who did not endorse
we're talking about
presidential candidate in 2017.
You are confusing your own discussions here. We are talking about 2023 moving forward. We are not talking about 2017.
That's what I do. I confuse people. So when
I'm not confused.
Let's start talking about confusion. Let's have the discussion.
I'm telling you, as far as we're concerned, Madam Sieh gave an open statement. She will the party. She's not going to be actively involved with politics, but she support the United Party. It was clear. So as far as we're concerned, Madam Sieh support Joe Buckeye candidate 2023.
Will we get an endorsement? That is major in politics. You know that.
So when the election time comes, when campaign time reaches, definitely will get endorsement.
So you are saying Ellen Johnson Sirleaf will officially endorse Joseph Boakai for president comes 2023.
I'm telling you, every senior partisan will see it necessary to support Joe Buckeye presidency.
And Ellen is no small potato, so you need an official endorsement.
And I'm telling you, every senior partisan of the United Party will see it necessary to support Joe Buckeye 2023.
We see it necessary. Mr. Mambia, in America, when Joe Biden, who was vice president to Obama, was running, Obama made an official endorsement and went all out and campaigned for Joe. Will we see that in 2023 for Boakai by Ellen Johnson Sirleaf?
Before I answer that question, Sieh, let me just clarify my last answer before I come
Please
back.
do that.
The West African power pool.
Before going to power again, let's come to the
supply Grand Jide, Maryland, and Nimba counties. And all of the rules, the one from Ganta City to Zweju City was paid for under the Sirleaf administration. The road from Fishtown to Harper is currently under construction. That was paid for.
That I know.
And everything was secured by the Sirleaf administration.
That I know, 100%.
It's disingenuous to say there's no power in the Southeast and we don't even have rules. Yes, we don't have rules, but the grant and all of the money necessary to carry that work on was secured before 2017. And it is only the matter of procedure and bureaucracy that are keeping those roads from being paved. I wanted to make that clarification. Now, coming into the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and Unity Party politics is the one that we like to be very careful with. Madam Sirleaf was our first partisan, and she served as the president of the Republic of Liberia. You need to remember that when you serve as the president of the Republic of Liberia, you have transcended party lines. And so we don't want to make 2023 about Madam Sirleaf. We want to make 2023 about Joe Boakai and the Liberian people, about rescuing the Liberian people, because this is what it is really about. As far as we are concerned, Madam Sirleaf was expelled from the party. She came back. There was reconciliation. She made a public statement. There was public appearances. All of the press people were there. So as far as I am concerned, Madam Sirleaf is still a member, a stalwart of the Unity Party, the former first partisan and the ex-president of the Republic of Liberia. Giving her own statement, she said because of her role with the international community, she might not be actively involved with politics. And we want to respect that.
That is an excuse. That's a poor excuse.
We want to respect that. We want to respect that. So 2023 is really about Joseph Boakai delivering the Liberian people from the current calamity that they're going through. This is what it is about.
Thank you. All right, gentlemen, in his BBC interview, when asked about his strategy to get the youth, Mr. Boakai said, I think the youth made a mistake by electing President Weah. Is that what you are getting from other youth? If yes, what is Mr. Boakai doing
Mr.
to get the youth?
Mr. Boakai did not say the youth made a mistake by electing Mr. Weah. In that interview, which I believe you are alluding to, they said the interviewer asked, but you were defeated by Mr. Weah in 2017. What makes you think that this time is going to be any different?
And the Liberian people made a mistake.
He said the Liberian people has realized that it was a mistake to elect somebody who had no clue what they were doing, what the presidency was about. And he wasn't telling a tale. The Liberian people have realized that it was a mistake to give a man's job to a boy, because the country is in a terrible state right now.
And who voted for this boy?
It is no telling about that. The Liberian
youth
people
did, right?
The Liberian people.
And the youth part of the Liberian people.
Of course, the young people are.
So what is Mr. Boakai doing now to help the youth correct this mistake?
Well, Mr. Boakai has personal scholarship programs around here that he sponsors young people, and a lot of other things to promote the youthful population.
Let's talk about this scholarship no one have ever heard about.
Let me come in, Sieh. Let me come in. Okay, I think if you listen to the interview, if you want to do justice to the VP, you make it very clear. The Liberian make not just the youth, but Liberian make a mistake, and they need a leader who's going to set the pathway for them. And Joe Boakai is one person who's going to do that, and he make it clear in our interview that he's not just in it for ambition. It's a desire to set the standard for the young people. And they have realized the mistake 2017 by electing Weah, who have no clue to why he was doing. And now they need a leader with experience who's going to set that path for them. And that's what we're doing. And that's why Joe Boakai is confident. And the young people have confidence in him as well.
And I want you to answer my question. You know, you are youth. You are members of the Unity Party Youth Congress. So we're talking youth politics here.
Yeah.
And that is why and because the Liberian people you're talking about, the youth constitutes the greater portion of it. So let's talk about you, gentlemen. Boakai also met the youth thing, or feels now they have realized that they have made a mistake by giving a man's job to a boy. What is he doing to help the youth look into his direction? And that is my question.
And have a platform that you intend to work with. That's why you be listening to him carefully and talk about the act. And the act, that's the agriculture, road, tourism, and sanitation. And in that platform, there are a lot of opportunity to promote young people, empower young people, and the citizenry at large. So we are talking about a leader who has the vision to transform the life of the ordinary people. We are talking about a leader who have the vision to transform the life of young people. And that's why Joe Boakai...
When and where has he demonstrated this vision before? When and where?
Let me come in, sorry, 1 second. You have seen this under the government that this man served under, the Shirley Boakai administration. The young people were prioritized.
Was Boakai part of that?
From serving in government to capacity building.
Was Boakai part of that?
Of course, Boakai was the vice president in that administration. So yes,
but this Boakai said he was a race car park.
You don't understand the analogy. The analogy.
Maybe you don't understand that analogy.
You don't understand.
How will you be
part of the analogy? You were part of it. The position of the vice president. The position of the vice president, according to our own constitution, is what he was referring to. He was referring to the position of the vice president being there only to assist the president and advise the president when you are called upon, besides being the president of the Liberian Senate. He's saying if you park a race car in a garage, you will not see its full potential. But when it is on the racetrack, That's when you will know the power.
I thought he meant that he was not being utilized by the former president, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Don't you think that's what he was talking about?
He is with the position of the vice president not to be utilized, but he's telling the Liberian people that he has leadership potential. And as a president of Liberia, that's when you can see that leadership potential.
But he was saying he was not being utilized. So he didn't get the opportunity to show this vision that you are talking about for the young people.
See, let me get coming quick to that.
Please do that.
If you go back to Tugman and Tubbard, Tubbard was the vice president to Tugman.
Right.
And the potential of Tubbard of becoming a better president would never be realized when he was vice president. When Tubbard took over as president, we saw the differences in leadership as compared to a leader, a boss by then. And today, if you are to compare Tubbard and Tugman administration, people will grade Tubbard administration even A+ as compared to Tugman.
Tubbard actually became one of the best presidents in our country's history.
Sure. And he was vice president for Tugman. So he couldn't just jump and do the boss job when he was the second president in command. So Joe Boca being a vice president to Madame Sirleaf, you don't expect him to overshadow Madame Sirleaf's own vision. He was there as vice president to support Madame Sirleaf, to give her advice.
So Mr. Soiree, does the VP actually, has he come up with a plan specifically for the youth? I'm asking you a question because you are the youth. You should be debating a specific plan for the youth, because this is a man who is annoyed that a man's job has been given to a boy, and the population we're looking at is more youthful. So does he have a specific plan for the youth?
He has plan for the country. He has plan for the country, and that includes the country's youthful population.
Okay.
And I can tell you, and like we did 2005 when we took over 2006, we believe that young people were the main victim of the war, 14 years of crisis.
Yes,
so we
I agree with you.
Young people, opportunity for young people. So Joe Biden becoming the next president 2023 is not just going to be the youth or Unity partisan.
I know you guys are youth. We're talking youth politics.
Yeah.
Don't you think it would be prudent to demand a specific plan set aside for the youth?
There are plans, and there were plans even during the 12 years. And
so if there are plans, where can I go to access these plans, my friend?
And okay, very soon, like I said, we are in a collaboration.
Is that the new excuse now? You're in a collaboration?
Hold on,
you are not in a collaboration when you first, when Waka ran the first time, you were not in a collaboration.
If you ask a question, give chance to the answer. And then you'll be in a better position to ask the next question, Sieh. Yeah, we are in a collaboration, and this collaboration came over one platform. Unity Party as a party have our own platform. We have our own vision. So what we did as a party, the vision of Unity Party going to be embedded with the three other political parties in the collaboration and come with one. And in that platform, we have opportunity for young people, youth empowerment program in other areas.
So we are talking about the future here, right?
Of course, we are talking about the future, and that's what I'm telling you. So very soon, once
you're talking about the future that will never come, because the collaboration now is in internal wrangling. It's fighting among themselves.
Let's
dying a natural death.
That is assumption. But let's assume, even if the collaboration don't hold, we still stand as one of the biggest political parties in Liberia.
And Mr. Soiree, maybe that is why you should roll out your youth plan.
And we still have our plan in place. We still have our plan in place to work with the young people, empower them, and we're going to make sure that they materialize.
Okay.
Mr.
Mambia, do you have a youth plan?
The Unity Party has a platform. It's out there. Mr. Bwaka he just talked about the sectors that Mr. Bwaka says he intends to prioritize when he gets to power. We have a plan. It's out there. We have a plan for the economy. We have a plan for agriculture. We have a plan for roads. We have a plan for tourism. The plans are out there.
So Mr. Bwaka of recent has been articulating this art. So tell me, how is the youth factor in this art that Mr. Bwaka talked about?
Look, most of our country population or Ansony is youthful. Most of Mr. Bwaka's plan is to capture the young people in these plans. For example, the tourism sector. For example, the agriculture sector. This is to provide education and job opportunities for young people in our country. So most of his plans are geared toward capturing the development of young people.
Thank you so very much. Folks in cyberspace, you are watching Focus on Liberia. I'm Ansony Sieh hosting. I have with me Mr. Soiree and Mr. Mambia from the Unity Party, USA and Canada Youth Congress. Gentlemen, I see that you are in the hot seat. I'm happy to have you here. Folks who are watching us, if you have just joined us, this is the Hour of Politics. We are broadcasting from Atlanta, Georgia. Gentlemen, let's take a little short break. When we come back, we'll continue with the segment.
We are Liberia.
At Focus on Liberia, we discuss everything Liberia, from education to politics, arts and culture, entertainment, agriculture, history, religion, family, and technology. Focus on Liberia uncovers and showcases the best of Liberia and shows the world the truth about Liberia. We educate, elevate, and promote all things Liberia. We conduct interviews, panel discussions, debates, and more. Tune in to Focus on Liberia on Facebook and YouTube and be a part of the stories that make up the news.
This is Focus on Liberia, and I am Dennis Jah.
And I am Ansony Sieh, and thank you for watching. Gentlemen, we are back. I have a question for both of you. Let's start with Mambia. Are you both ready for generational change, or are you waiting for generational change? Mambia, which one?
Oh, I am so ready for generational change. I am so ready for generational change.
So tell me, how ready are you? And what you doing?
I am ready like yesterday.
Mm-hmm. So what are you doing now, to show your readiness? Why are you
Every single day that passes by, personally, I have been preparing myself for the challenge that lies ahead of the Liberian, the young Liberian people. We've been preparing ourselves, education, experience, in whatever way. And we are so ready for generational change, and it's just the matter of time.
All right. So when you are preparing for generational change, let's talk about leadership. I know you are Secretary General for the Youth Congress. I'd agree. But let's come to national leadership. In 2017, let me go a little back. When Ellie ran in 2005, she picked Mr. Bwaka. Those were two older persons, if I can put it that way, for lack of a better word, right? And then fast forward 2017, when Mr. Bwaka was running, you were still in the Unity Party. He chose Nukwe, another person who is far from you. And now another election is coming. If you say you are now waiting for generational change, but you are ready, will you demand should Bwaka be selected as the CPP candidate to give you a vice presidential candidate from your ranks and file as youth? Will you demand that?
So I believe it is something Mr. Bwaka is looking into.
You see the problem? And you say you're ready.
If he's elected as the standard bearer of the collaborating political parties, the selection of the vice standard bearer is going to be negotiations. It's going to be through conversations with other constituent political parties. Are you going to
advocate that he picks somebody youthful?
Of course, it's always been the advocacy. Contrary to what you just said, the selection of Mr. Emmanuel Nukwe. Mr. Emmanuel Nukwe is technically the gap between that older generation and the younger generation. Mr. Nukwe was not the same age as Mr. Bwaka, and we can all attest to that.
You told me you were inspired by Macron's election at age 37.
I was inspired by Macron's election. Yes, I was. And
here you are, instead of being ready, but you are waiting. You're just sitting there and waiting for it to come to you. You're not fighting for it.
When you say we're not fighting for it, I don't understand. We are ready
because you just had a ceremony in your party in which you coronated Mr. Bwaka. There was not a competitive process in which we saw any young person trying to vie for the candidacy of the party. Why did you, the Unity Party, you say, look, let's put a youthful candidate at least? You didn't do that.
Against Mr. Bwaka?
Yes. Why not? Anything wrong with that?
First of all, let's get this straight.
Is anything wrong with that?
No, let's get this straight. You
Is
want to
anything wrong with you putting forth a youthful candidate to contest?
If you want to listen to me, I will explain.
I will. Go ahead.
Okay, great. Thank you. First of all, Mr. Boakai was elected the standard bearer of the Unity Party in 2016. And he still enjoyed the standard bearership for 6 years, according to the Unity Party's constitution. So Mr. Boakai is still the appropriate standard bearer of the Unity Party until 2022, at which time we should go to a convention and elect a new standard bearer. So the Unity Party wasn't behind closed doors electing.
Oh, thank God for such a brilliant opportunity, 2022, where we see the youth of Unity Party putting forth a candidate in that particular convention.
The clear answer to that is no, we will not see a challenge to Mr.
Oh my goodness. And you say you're ready?
We will not see a challenge to Mr. Boakai for the standard bearership of the
Let's come to soiree. Let's come to soiree. Mr. Mambia is not giving me anything. Mr. Soiree, are you ready for generational change, or are you waiting for it, my friend?
I'm like Mavia said, I'm ready like yesterday. And I can tell you, if I say I'm ready, that does not mean I have to change the standard bearer today and be the next standard bearer of Unity Party.
At least put forth a candidate, Mr. Soiree. That's what I'm saying.
We cannot put forth a candidate when we already have one. One thing I believe in as an individual.
In the convention?
I come in. One thing I believe in as an individual young person coming here, you got to sit on the old mat to plant a new one.
Okay.
In doing so, we are working with the old people in our party, like Joe Buck and other people. That does not mean we are not qualified. We are prepared. We are getting there, and we will get there. At a point now, we have Joe Bucker as a standard bearer. In 2022, we're going to be going to a convention to elect, because as per the Constitution of Unity Party, we'll go to convention 2022 and have a new leadership. But here is it. Going to convention 2022, that's not going to erase the fact that we don't have a standing bearer as Joe Buckeye for 2023. We still carrying Joe Buckeye 2023 until after 2023. We're going to have a new leadership that we're going to take for whether it's going to be a youthful leader or other. We're going to decide that. But we can tell you for free, we from the Unity Party angle, we are prepared for leadership, and we believe we have the competence to move forward.
Gentlemen, you said you are ready and you're not waiting. But all your explanation, hold on, Mr. Soiree.
I'm not understanding when you say,
Mr. Soiree, hold on, Mr. Soiree. I'll get to you.
Mr. Sieh, what I want you to
gentlemen, hold on a bit. I'll get to you. I'll get to you.
Give me a sec. What I want
you are the guest. I'll give you more time to explain.
But you're not giving me that time to explain.
You kept cutting her up.
You are not giving me that time to explain, Mr. Sieh.
All right, Mambia, go ahead, my brother. Go ahead.
Mr. Sieh, what you should also understand is the fact that my answer doesn't have to be what you want. It just has to be the truth.
And I'm not asking you to tell me why you won. It is my job to press you, and, so that you can be able to give me meat. I don't want bones. Go ahead.
I'm giving you the truth, what is right, and not what you want to hear. We do believe,
except that truth is far from your statement that you are ready and you're not waiting. But what you explain is
this time that Mr. Boakai is the one who will lead us, who will project us into that generational change that we have all been looking forward to.
Okay. And Mr. Soiree, quickly, let me give you time, my friend.
Yeah. I didn't get a question. What was the question again?
No, we stay on the same question. I don't believe you are ready. You are waiting. You are waiting for Boakai to leave the stage before you come. But you told me you're ready, and that is not readiness. That is waiting.
I don't understand if you say ready. I don't understand your own understanding.
When you are ready, you have to start the process. You need to start feeding candidates, at least in the primary. It doesn't mean that you're going to defeat Boakai, but at least start the process. And you're not willing to do that. He just said we're not going to feed candidates. He said that.
Hold on. Like I said earlier, we believe in generational change. And generational change comes with cooperation. We got to cooperate in order to have a smooth transition of leadership. If we're going to take the old people from leadership, we got a transition in place that will take power from them smoothly, and we'll still get that cooperation and support.
So let's start the process by feeding candidates in the primary or the convention at least.
Let's begin in Unity Party right now. This is the first time for Unity Party to have a spokesperson at that age level in the history of Unity Party.
Granted.
Of a spokesperson. So that tells you, at Unity Party level, we are prepared for the change. And the change is coming. we are not sitting back. We have competent young people in the party that can lead the party to a prosperous leadership.
Thank you.
But not because we have this qualified people, it means we should take Joe Bucker and put in aside. No, Joe Bucker expect the convention. Joe Bucker remain our standing bearer, and we taking him to 2023 election. After 2023 election, we're going to have a different leadership. Whether it's going to be a youthful leader or not, we're going to decide that. But as for now, we're going to work with whatever we have to make sure we take Biafra in power 2023.
Thank you. You know, gentlemen, our former president, to pull it right, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, who having to be one of your most influential leaders, you know, she was clear. You know, she said we need to inspire the youth to leadership. And in fact, Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, in some time back, she had an interview with Christine Amapo of CNN, and she said this. So let me read the entire thing for us. Liberia's President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf has called on African leaders holding onto power to make a way for young leaders and to practice democracy by example. She told CNN's Christian Amapo in an interview after the 72nd United Nations General Assembly in New York that it is time for generational change and leadership by example. Quote, Ellen speaking now, I am sending a strong signal that not only should we respect the Constitution and the law, but it also says that it is time for a generational change. If we are going to practice democracy, which we all want to do, and we all strive to do, then we have to do it by example, Sieh said. Sieh continued, we have young people that are vying for leadership, that have the capacity, that have the passion and the capability, and it is time for them to take over. And we have to make way for them, she added. I didn't stop there. In 2019, early in the morning at 7 a.m., the old man woke up because something touched her, and she wrote on her Instagram page, we must inspire the next generation to change the world. Soiree and Mambia.
And Mr.
Ellie is talking to you. You are the next generation. And hold on, this is my time now, gentlemen.
Yeah, I would be
in the Democratic Party, Joseph Biden has been around in government for a very long time, even more than Joe Walker. There was a competitive process in which young people participated. Andrew Yang of New York, an Asian guy, and many others. You saw them, gentlemen. And I'm saying to you, it is time for you to start the process, but you are waiting and you're not ready yet.
Okay, let me tell you this, Sieh. Let's go back to Madam Sirleaf's speech you're just reading from the UN. The first thing, Madam Sirleaf, can you please put the speech back up? When Madam Sirleaf talked about giving opportunity to young people, during Madam Sirleaf's 12 years, there was a lot of opportunity provided to young people. Young people were provided position in technical and key area in her government. And when she talked about youthful generation, she was not just talking about anybody, any kind of youth that is not even prepared to lead us. Like today, we're seeing we are as a youthful leader. But why isn't doing? Leadership is not determined by age. If the young person is not prepared, we from the United Party, we are prepared and we have been given opportunity to serve. Now we have Joe Bucker as our leader. We're not going to jumpstart the boat to say, okay, because we are prepared, so it means we should put Joe Bucker aside. We have been supporting Joe Bucker as tenable of our party. So, Madam Sirleaf, now we put Joe, we are in power after that speech. What happened? Isn't doing the work of a leader? No. Our country continues to go backward since we are took over. The inflation rate, unemployment, everything continues to increase. So, we're talking about transition leadership. How young people going to take over? We from the United Party angle, we are prepared to take leadership, but we are not just going to jumpstart that because Ansony and Sieh want us to take this leadership from Joe Bucker. No, it's not going to be because you believe we are not prepared. We are prepared, but as we stand, Joe Bucker remains a standing bearer for our party, and we're going to support him for 2023. That never make us not prepared. We are prepared, and we're going to make sure we win and transition out the life of our people.
And Mr. Sieh, just to add up to what my colleagues were saying to you, just the fact that you feel that when we do not contest against Joe Barker for the standard bearership doesn't mean we are prepared, doesn't make it what it is. Because the only position you can hold to show that, oh, this person is a leader, is you don't only have to be the standard bearer or the president. Like I said, look on the Sirleaf administration, from Minister Proper, from Neto Zazalai, to Patrick Umbayo, to Bwaka Jaliba, to Aliyu Yen, to all of these young people. Ellen was the head of government, Bwaka was the deputy head of government, but the entire government was mostly youthful. Over 40%, that number could be argued, of people who serve in the government, from the director of the GSC to other head of government agencies and ministry, were young people, were relatively young people. So you don't only have to be the head of government or the standard bearer of a political party for you to know that the youthful population are making an inroads in these processes. The entire secretary of the Unity Party are all young people. Moali is a young man. You know that.
I think this year understanding of leadership is just to be a standard bearer. That's why
the official spokesperson of the party is a very young woman. You know that. The current chairman of the Unity Party is a relatively young person. Ami Modar is a relatively young person. So do you only have to be the standard bearer of the party to show that the young people in this country and the young people in the party are ready for leadership? I don't think so. I think the young people in the Unity Party and in Liberia has been making inroads, and that was initiated under Sirleaf Barker administration, and that we hope to intensify under potential Barker administration after 2023.
And let me just say this quick here before you come in. Mm-hmm. I want you to go with this. Mm-hmm. Leadership or being ready for leadership, you don't have to be standard bearer. You don't have to be president before you be given an opportunity. When Manasari spoke at the UN, the post just quoted, she was talking about creating opportunity, avenue for young people to be part of the decision-making process. And that's what our government did. There were opportunity provided for young people at the table. And up to present, Unity Party continue to provide an avenue for young people. So don't have it in mind that you have to be standard bearer before you be ready.
You know, while you're saying that, if I may throw this in,
yeah,
you are like limiting the young people.
No, you are limiting readiness
at a particular time.
No,
all right. Let me make you a dollar. Hold on. Let me level my point. Your comments, sorry.
Yeah,
you are limiting the young people. Ellie is on record in Liberia for saying that we will serve. She was talking about Barker at the time. We will serve, and we will transition. We will turn the country over to the young people. Now, here is another thing that the Unity Party. This is the history the Unity Party has built. I'll give you a chance to explain. You can disagree. This is a dialogue. And Ellen, at that time, you made me lose my strain of thought, man. But I just remember this is what I'm trying to do, right? I'm trying to say, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf was talking about Omen Bwaka at that time. This is something Bwaka did not want to do, and that is why he is having trouble. On top of that, Mr. Soiree, before you come in, Unity Party now has established a history of producing candidates that are old. No youth among the candidates whatsoever. That is your history. Now, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf retired. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf retired from the presidency, from politics, in your own word, from active politics at the age of 78. And then you, Unity Party, with all the young people you have, you are bringing in somebody to be president at the age of 78 if he's elected president. Is that the best you can do, gentlemen?
Let me correct you there. When Ellen was saying that we will serve and turn over, she was talking about her. When Ellen said, I will serve 110, or later she changed, she said, okay, I want to serve for the second 10, she was talking about her. She was not talking about I and Joe.
You don't remember, my brother. I pay attention to these things.
Hold on, Sieh.
Ellen was on a radio station called DC 101.
Ellen
on DC 101. The general asked the question, are you talking about yourself or you talking about, she said, I'm talking about myself and I'm talking about Mr. Bwaka. Go ahead.
Listen, Sieh. We're talking about politics here. Ellen have right to contest to be president. Joe have right to contest and be president. Ellen have that right to pick Joe as a running mate. 2005, Ellen handpicked Joe to contest with her as a running mate. So she never tell Joe, if I'm retiring from politics, you have to retire. No, it don't work like that. She has the opportunity to serve. So if she say, okay, I will transition, Joe don't have to retire with Ellen.
All right.
That's not an agreement, it's signed.
That is fair. That is fair.
I want you to get that straight.
And that is fair. And that is fair, except now that you Unity Party have built this history for yourself. Anytime you pull forth a ticket, that ticket can be a ticket of all people. That's all it is.
Another point,
when will you produce a new ticket?
See, I want you to understand this. When the founding father of Unity Party, being Cassidy founded Unity Party, he was not 80 years old. He was provided the opportunity to serve on the party ticket. That's the first in the barrel. In 1997, they have a merger. Unity Party have a merger. In 2005, Ellen was still in the process. So Unity Party, we believe in consistency. It's not because
consistency on producing all candidates to be all people.
Consistency of producing the best leader. Leadership is not determined by age.
Only the older people can be the best.
Hold on, Sieh. I'm trying to make you understand. Leadership is not determined by age. Today we have a youthful leader who is George Weah, with Surrogate and Ryan that can even do one better thing for the Liberian people. So you telling me because Joe Bwaka is old, so you cannot do the right thing? No, you cannot determine.
Is that what I'm telling you?
That's what you're trying to say. So meaning we should get any young person.
When you started reading people's mind.
When you start reading,
I'm playing the role of a journalist. I'm asking you a question for you to answer, and your understanding is that I'm interpreting anything here.
Hold on, you read Ellen Mind, interpret Ellen's statement, and contribute that to Joe Bwaka saying
Ellen was very specific. She was very specific.
You make it specific.
I stated at the radio station. I told you what she said.
Yeah, you make it specific because you wanted to narrow down the argument to youthful leadership. And I'm trying to tell you, a good leader is not determined by the age. A good leader is determined by your apple.
Sorry, I mean, I don't know what you're doing. I am playing the role of a journalist, asking you questions, and you think I have an agenda here?
No, you don't have an agenda. I'm trying
That's
to.
That's what you're telling me.
No,
my job is to put you, and that's what I'm doing.
And my job is to provide a clarity for you.
But then, don't accuse me of
I'm not accusing you. Oh, now you consider to be accused. When you put it with Ellen, you interpreting Ellen's statement, attributing that to Joe.
Ellen made a definite statement that I quoted to you,
and I'm correcting you. And correction.
What correction you making to something she said that I said exactly?
We are not producing old leaders because we believe that we don't have qualified young people. We believe in.
You have never produced a presidential candidate and vice presidential candidate from 45 down. You have never done that.
Mr. Sieh, let's make practice.
Have you done that?
I totally agree with Mohammed Soiree here that to be a good leader is not determined by age. Number one. Number two,
you're the youth. You don't want to. You're telling me that you can produce somebody of your kind from in your ranks and five, and that is all I'm trying to get from you. And it's this accusation that I have an agenda and I'm trying to say this and that. You are youth. You yet to make the case for the youth. I'm asking you why it said we have not seen a youthful candidate, at least for Christ's sake. Why?
I would not take the conversation your way. Like, for example, the candidates that Unity Party has produced in these ended by elections and midterm elections, Prince Moyi of Bon County, it's not an
We're talking about presidential election. Yeah, we're talking about the segment we are discussing is the presidency.
That's what Mohammed Soiree was telling you. You are limiting the young people to only the standard bearership of the party or the presidency of the
No. And that's where you can. Anyway, gentlemen, it can be an argument between the both of you. Let's leave it right there. Let's take a short break. When we come back, we'll be reading comments. I don't want to get to the place where I'm arguing with you. That is not my goal. My goal is to ask questions, but it seems to be my questions are not to your taste. But this is what I do. I give questions that are not to the taste of my audience. When they come, they need to sweat. They need to defend their position, and that is what I'm doing. And I think you're doing good so far, gentlemen. So, folks, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll read the comments of the viewers. And viewers have been displaying the number. And you don't want to call and make the case, make your contribution. Let's hear from you, folks. We would appreciate that. So, gentlemen, let's take that very short break, and we will be right back.
At Focus on Liberia, we discuss everything Liberia, from education to politics, arts and culture, entertainment, agriculture, history, religion, family, and technology. Focus on Liberia uncovers and showcases the best of Liberia and shows the world the truth about Liberia. We educate, elevate, and promote all things Liberia. We conduct interviews, panel discussions, debates, and more. Tune in to Focus on Liberia on Facebook and YouTube and be a part of the stories that make up the news.
This is Focus on Liberia, and I am Dennis Jah.
And I'm Ansony Sieh with United Party USA and Canada Youth Congress, represented by Mr. Soiree and Mr. Mambia. Gentlemen, we can express how appreciative we are having you here discussing politics in our country. We want a better country, and we all have to fight for it, and I see that you are fighting, and I appreciate that. Let's go to some comments as we wait for folks to call here. Let's hear from William. Let's hear from Double. I don't know how to pronounce the first one. Williet. Okay, thank you. Mr. Sieh, stop being rude. Where did you study journalism? Stay or dumb? Oh, wow, my goodness. She said I'm being rude. Let's hear from Aliu Vamaya. These young gentlemen are the best gifts on the show since the beginning of this year. Aliu is a declared supporter of JMB, so it's obvious he will say that. Let's hear from Aliu again. You guys are making me laugh to the extent that tears are running down my face. Let's hear from Samuel Shapper. The United Party of Youth can't even make the case for a youthful presidential candidate. They are choking that person right. Let's hear from George Augustus Dumba there. The young people ticket damaging our country. Mama Liberia. I'm sure that person is referring to the one you guys are talking about, headed by President Weah. Mr. Moderator, I don't know your level to which you understand politics, but numbers play a very key role in politics, and if Liberia is to be rescued from the playful hands of George Weah, there's no one suitable to do that than JMB. Mind you, that doesn't mean that young people aren't ready. Let's hear from Gia here. What is Joseph Boakar's platform? I like to know all the Liberian presidential candidate platforms for leadership in Liberia. Liberian presidential candidates never debate to give their platforms. Not good at all. They have to be accountable for what they promised the country during their campaign. Gentlemen, we're taking a break and we're getting some evaluation here. I think you saw that other lady who dealt with me. I enjoy when they deal with me like that, gentlemen. One doesn't have to be the standard bearer of a political party to show his or her readiness. There are other crucial leadership roles within the party that are occupied by these ready men. Hold on. Comrade Yanton, the conference number is in the strolling text. Please call the conference number, not my personal. Let me go to more comments, gentlemen. Let's hear from Chris here. So then, why JMB did with the agriculture money given him? Where is the agricultural products and how Liberia is to what? Say beneficial is to benefit, maybe. Yeah, read more comments, gentlemen. Let's hear from Timothy here. The person is responding to somebody else. Let's hear from Sieh. The youth want ANC. ANC Cummings. I don't know what you're saying. Let me leave it there. Please speak to what we're talking about. Let's hear from let host press them to say the right thing. That is the job of a true journalist. Go ahead, host, and do your job. Somebody is coming to my rescue, my man, because the way I was dealt with by the other viewer, gentlemen, I think you are feeling sorry for me, sir. Let's hear from Sieh. She did not support GMB. No, they're acting among themselves. That is not the kind of comment I want to read. Let's hear from Wulu Blatter Sarosne. Blatter Sarosne, that's a true name there. I should be able to pronounce that one. West African power pool through the government supplied electricity to Maryland, Grand Jide, and Nimba Sieh. I was working there in Maryland. Thank you.
That is not from me. That is from a Southeasterner.
That is that. Yeah, he's a Southeasterner, everybody near our zone. Sieh, go to tell my Ellen she is mandated to do something. Let's hear from this viewer. These two guys are classic comedians. Unity Party did not electrify Liberia. Stop the fun around here. In fact, the both of them talking at the same time that make no idea why the person wrote it has no idea. I don't know why the person trying to write it like that. Folks, try to take your time to write your comments so that we can read them. Aliou Soiree, that's not what the ambassador said. The ambassador was speaking on the constant failure of the Riad government in the MCC. The Salif government constantly passed the MCC. Gentlemen, we can't get to all the comments, sometimes we look among them because some are throwing insults and, like the first one, I didn't want to read that, but it came out. How much did the U.S. government provide to the Ellen Johnson government between 2007 and 2009 for electricity? $400 million. Let's hear from Anthony V. Kessley. He's a big brother to me here, but he's always holding my foot down. It is so unprofessional for a moderator to stubbornly insist that a guest answer a particular question and goes on screaming that the question must be answered. I thought the judge here should be the audience. Anthony, he's always on my back. And by the way, he served JMB for 12 years as his, I think, chief of office staff, we have a good relationship, but he's always dealing with, and I love that, and I love when they do that. Yeah, from Isaac, that's the typical Liberian politician, wouldn't admit to their failure. Somebody say, you guys are not admitting at least, my man.
So, Mr. Sieh, we have more points to get through on the JMB agenda for 2023.
Yeah, gentlemen, we may not be able to get to all that. Maybe you guys can come back again. Let me read a few comments here. The late Unity Party government destroyed Mama Liberia for the 12 consecutive years, which President Weah and the CDC is struggling to fix. Gentlemen, we can get to all the comments. Let me get your response to the comments quickly.
All right. I will respond to the first one. Someone talking about where JNB have the agriculture money. Let me make this clear. The agriculture money that person is talking about was a grant, $30 million grant from the Liberian government through a consensual agreement. And that was managed by a private entity. McClinton was the one that operated that fund, and it was through JMB involvement that the Libyan government agreed to give that $30 million grant to that company. So it was never JMB who managed it, or it was never given to the government. So people always mistaking that agriculture money for something else. JMB never received that money. It was something he negotiated for, and the Libyan government gave that money to a grant. So let our caller or listener get that clear.
Thank you so very much. Mr. Mambia?
Again, I want to allude to the fact that somebody from the Southeast confirmed that under the Sirleaf-led government, with the West African power pool brought in by the administration, they supply portion of the Southeast and Nimba County with power. And we did do a huge job in getting power to the people. And under the Weah administration, we've seen that that has been diminished by a lot so far. And the second thing I want to stress here is the fact that somebody who has been in government for such a long time, even though not for up to 40 years, if, especially in African politics, if we can see anything to stain his integrity, but the only thing we can talk about is age, it means that is the person to serve our country. If you serve in Liberian politics for that long, and yet people believe you don't even have money to run a presidential campaign, it means that you only took what rightfully belonged to you and you didn't take what did not belong to you. So JMB comes to the table with integrity, with example as a role model for young people to follow. And this is a thing we in African politics that a lot of us don't like. The fact that certain people come to power and they do not steal enough money so that they give a minute portion of that money back to the people and be like, yeah, this person is a philanthropist, this person can give money out. JMB worked all his time in government, only took what rightfully belongs to him. If at this point in time, after all of the years in politics, people cannot have a corruption record of JMB or something wrong he did in government, but we're only banging on his age, that only goes to tell you that this is a man of integrity, and this is a man we need to take Liberia from the current mess it is in.
Thank you.
One
All
more
right,
thing.
One more thing, gentlemen. Let's take this caller, please. Let's take this caller. Caller, your name and where you joining us from. Caller, are you there? Caller, are you there? Caller with phone number ending in 9261. Are you there? All right, that caller is now ready for prime time. Go ahead.
Yeah, let me just add to what my colleague was saying. In Liberia, we have a serious problem. If I say we have a serious problem, we don't appreciate sincere people. We don't appreciate honest leaders. Today, we see people, Liberians, celebrate Ellis Tyler, Edwin Snow. These are corruption King Kong in Liberia. They have been involved with all kinds of stigma, scandal. Today, people celebrate Vanny Sherman, who have been labeled internationally in corruption scandal.
Talking about Vanny Sherman from your party?
Yeah,
we're talking about Vanny Sherman.
Party. And today, we look at Joe Buckeye and icing what he have done because he never steal money to build skyscraper for himself, to consider him to be a field leader. Our understanding of leadership in Liberia is very poor, and we need to continue to educate our people. Leadership is not what you accomplish for yourself, but how impactful your life to other people can be. That makes you a better leader. And that's what Joe Buckeye stands for. He bring integrity on the table and believe that a major priority is to transform the life of the ordinary people, not to build skyscraper or to acquire wealth for himself and his children.
Thank you, gentlemen. We have a lot of calls. Let's get to the calls here quickly. Gentlemen, I think you guys need to come by. You know, we negotiated with you for 1 hour, 30 minutes. We passed that already, so we're in a grace period. But let's take our calls here quickly. This caller, I hope that caller is ready now. Caller, go ahead with phone number ending in 9261. Your name and where you joining us from. The caller is not ready. Sleeping. Let's get Aliu Kamara. Aliu, go ahead and start singing your praise and worship. Go ahead.
Hey, so the gentleman, this is Aliu Kamara, like my brother said, commonly known on Facebook as Aliu V. Samba, look, you guys have made my day. You know, Ansony Sieh thought he was putting you guys on a hot seat. Ironically, on Ansony Sieh's own show, he got on a hot seat. Look, it's been amazing, and out there having some fun here. I've laughed so much. Let me just remind you of something that my pop said, my uncle said the other day, and I want you to define it. He said, a man can walk to the water side to cross the water, but if the water full and it's too full for the man to cross, the water might stop the man from crossing, but it would never stop the man from going back. Now, you work that out. You know, this guy, gentlemen, look, I just want to thank you guys ever so much for coming to Focus on Liberia. This is our show. This is the People's Show. And I've always recommended this to the United Party to always come on this show. Let us put Ansony Sieh on the hot seat instead. And Ansony, I want to thank you for bringing the United Party on. And gentlemen, as you go, please, whenever Ansony call you guys, or whenever Dennis Jack call you guys, please, and I have said this to a few people from the United Party, please come to the show. I am not a member of the United Party, but Ansony Sieh has made me so interested into defending the United Party. Whenever I went on any other show, I always told people I do not want to defend the United Party. But because of Ansony Sieh, I've been on 4 different shows last week, And I had to actually defend the United Party because I watched Ansony trying to continuously dig the United Party down 6 feet. And I want to thank you guys for being so elegant, so smart. You know the issues, you understand the issues. And I want to say this to Senator Waters' point. You've been doubtful of the people around JMP that have been your concern. Now, after watching this show, you realize that not everyone you see behind JMP are the clear representation of JMP. The idea that everybody around JMP are people of either from local country or from the Loma or Giffy tribe.
Thank you.
These young guys have to sell that information.
Thank you.
Again, they have told you also there's a barrage of young people in the Unity Party. They are content. They are satisfied. They also told you cannot just give young men position just because they're young. They have to be competent and they have to be qualified. I'm glad they had you on a half day. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. Gentlemen, you see, I've done so much good for you people.
No, you never do.
Huh?
It was not good do for her.
The man just said it. You didn't listen to him?
Bringing us on the show is a good thing.
The man just said that. You didn't hear him? He said because of me. I have done a good thing for you. I got you somebody propagating for you, and you deny that. Ali, tell them again. Please say that again.
No,
I did not. Listen. What did I say? I said I want you guys to continuously come on the show, and I'm glad because Ansony's intention was to put you on a hot seat, and I'm glad you did the reversal instead on his own show.
You said because of me, you have been defending the United Party. You didn't say that?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
I've always spoke of JMB, but because of you, now I've got involved into speaking for the United Party.
Indirectly, I recruited a powerful man for the United Party. The United Party force down should be thanking me here. All right, Aliu, thank you. Let's go to the next caller here. Yeah. Caller with phone number ending in 9533. Go ahead. Caller, let hear you. That person is not ready. Let's hear from this caller, 1794. Let's hear from you. Caller, your name and where you joining us from?
This is Sieh, and I call from California.
Quickly, let's hear you. You have a minute, sir.
And actually, I just want to comment. I'm the National Vice Chair for Unity Party Youth Congress.
Oh, wow.
And I want to first thank the guys in studio, Secretary General of the Youth Congress, Mambia, and our mobilization chair. And you guys are doing very well in propagating the ideas of the party and how we intend to move our party forward. And one thing, Ansony, when you talk about youth representation and how Joseph Walker intends to move our party forward, or try to bring the CPP together to make sure we have a youthful agenda. Like, as a party, we in the Youth Congress, like recently, we gathered and we made some concerns with regards to how we want the youth to be represented and what are some of the concerns that we have. And we presented. So, I was standard bearer in terms of youth empowerment, in terms of what mobilization of resources to help empower youth, whether it's through education or social development, or whether it's through addressing some mental issues or other stuff within the country, and how it will benefit the young people. We want to make it clear that we believe in youth empowerment and we believe in supporting the youth of the party, and we believe in making sure that the young people of Liberia will have a stake.
Thank you.
Our Senate Bearer, Joseph Walker, believe in participatory democracy, and you ensure that everybody is brought to the table, and I will surely believe in them, and we have a very young people that are here to support him to make sure he is elected the next president comes on the street.
Thank you,
gentlemen, and thank you, Ansony.
Thank you, Mr. Nwad. This caller here, caller with phone number ending in 9261. Go ahead. Yeah, but man, what's taking you so long? Go ahead, let's hear you. Your name and where you joining us from?
This is Johnson.
Oh,
how you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. Go ahead, let's hear you.
Let me say thank you to the two gentlemen. Very, very wonderful gentlemen. Some of Liberia's, far and in terms of intellectual things. As a matter of fact, I do support Mr. Joseph Walker, the president. I'm not a member of the Unity Party. I coordinate the campaign in the diaspora. But I want to weigh in on the subject that you and many others have been amplifying in the discourse as it relates to 2023 on generational change. We saw that in 2017 and in 2011. For the record, I think more of this conversation needs to be shifted. I believe clearly in the concept of making generational difference as opposed to mere generational change. And most of the people who are strong proponents of this whole conversation, the whole debate on generational change, have not even been clearly articulated in terms of telling us.
Yonton, how many other folks have failed our country in terms of leadership? What percentage will you give it?
We cannot expand on numerical.
What percentage will you give it? Because what you're trying to say there is that because we have a youthful president, we can put it that way, who has failed, that means every other youth leader that is elected tomorrow will fail. So you are talking about we shouldn't talk about just change.
I think that's what you're trying to say.
No, Anthony, that is not what I'm arguing. In fact, there is a historical context to this, right? Every time in our nation we've been presented with somehow this composition on generational change, we do so at a point where we treat it with historical and political obscurity. All right? So there's always a binding force that compels one generation of leaders to turn over the next generation of leaders. And if we do so without the proper structure and the level of structural reform as well as governance reform, it flops. We saw that with Edwin Barclay and William V. Tubman. And Tubman went on for 27 years. We saw that in 2017 with Madam Sieh and George Weah. And we're seeing the ripple effect of what it is when you do not lay the foundation in terms of the structural changes that are needed within the society and the government space, and how new generation of leaders just mess everything up. So we're very clear about how we want to proceed moving forward with this whole argument of generational change. I think young people have to get involved with politics. They have to make their voices heard and not just loud. They have to be part and parcel of the arena and not just indifferent to the arena.
Thank you.
Thank
you. It's obvious you said that because you are supporting just Imam Boubacar. So you're going to give all the excuses. You're going to give all the theoretical explanation and excuses about why young people can't come to leadership now, and they should warm the bench and keep warming the bench. And, you know, I'm not going to buy that. Let's hear from Cyrus Snang here. Cyrus, let's hear you quickly to the issue.
Yeah, I thank you so much. I do follow my comrades in studios. One thing I do, usually listen to like Anthony Sieh and the rest of the guys, do not do what we call a starting point analysis and just jump into conclusions. So when I mean starting point analysis, it's good sometimes when you shifting blame of 12 years. I do know that all wasn't rosy, but it's also good to know where the country was and where they went from, if you're doing comparative analysis. So I am in the health sector. I work in the health sector. When the Unity Party-led government took over the health sector, we have people who were not even high school graduates serving as officers in charge in health facilities. So when the Unity Party government came into being and brought the policy of putting people at the right place at the right time, it brought that, encouragement for folks, young people to school so that they can be future leaders. So as a result of that policy, what happened was that the Unity Party-led government was able to open community colleges, even though the center of the community colleges are not, where we want to be, but to some extent, it brought about, a workforce, that today are contributing towards the power.
Typical Liberian mentality, settle for just anything because we had nothing
No, it's not.
before. And that's what I'm hearing from you. Sieh. Thank you. Hey, gentlemen, we have to go. Time is fast spent. I will take a closing statement from each of you. I apologize, gentlemen, it's just because of time. And let's start with you, Mr. Mambia. Again, thank you for coming. Let's get a closing statement. And gentlemen, I'll reach out to you so we can do that again. I think I will appreciate that if you can come back so that you can have the opportunity to propound on some of the things that you will actually, wanted to get clear today. So, Mr. Mambia, let's hear from you. Closing statement, please.
Thank you very much. I will just start by going back to a few other things. First of all, Joseph Boakai is not a handpicked standard bearer of the Unity Party. He participated in a contested process, in a contested primary in 2017, and he won that primary against an opponent. You can go and check the records, and that's how he became the standard bearer of the Unity Party. And he remains the standard bearer of the Unity Party until 2022, at which time we shall carry him. We should re-elect him as the standard bearer of the Unity Party. He is electable. He has integrity. He has the strength, as we saw in a town hall in Minnesota on yesterday, which was well attended. He was taking questions from Liberians in the diaspora. He stood on his 2 feet for the duration of that town hall. So the idea of JMB being old has been dispelled. The idea that JMB will be controlled has been dispelled. And we know that this man is the man ready for the job. And when it comes to electability, Ansony and all of those people in politics in Liberia, you and I know the one name in Liberia that can defeat the weird machine is Joseph Human Boakai. It's not just a matter of electing people. You brought a Joseph Biden scenario. You think Joseph Biden was the most youthful person in the Democratic Convention? You think Joseph Biden was the one with the best idea? No. But the fact remains that one of the key agenda in this country was getting rid of Donald Trump because of how he was taking the United States down the drain, especially in the international community. And one person that could do that was Joseph Biden. And that was why he was elected in the Democratic primary. And we all know that given the trajectory of our country, the cataclysmic failure of the Weah administration, the primary objective is to get Mr. Weah out of power so that our people can have life again. And one person who could make that happen is Joseph Boakai. Not only because he has the numbers, but also because he has the integrity, the leadership ability, and the experience to do that. We have a platform that is out there that is being communicated by Mr. Boakai himself through this engagement with the Liberian people, both home and abroad. And so here in my closing, I want to say thank you for the time. I want to tell the Liberian people, keep looking forward. We will come as the time go by to make these cases. Mr. Boakai will reach out to the Liberian people. We will make it our business of interpreting the policies and the platform of the Unity Party and Mr. Boakai and the CPP will need be. Thank you very much for having me.
It was good having you, my brother. Mr. Suare.
Yeah, thank you, Ansony. I think I will close by saying we shouldn't determine a good leader by the age. Good leadership have nothing to do with age. A good leadership is somebody who will transform the life of the ordinary people. Somebody who have the passion and vision to transform the life of the ordinary people. It's not about the age. Joe Boakai remain that person, and Joe Boakai come with a huge integrity, and nobody, no international community will feel comfortable to do business with you or with your government if you don't come with that integrity. And that's why Madam Sieh government was highly supported, because she brought integrity with her. She worked with international partners and they trusted her to do business with her. So Joe Boakai came on the table with this integrity, and we believe that with Joe Boakai, there can be a one-term president. And this is the thing. You cannot, and we should always remember this. Leadership is something that you should have passion for. That's why Joe Boakai said it's not ambition, it's a desire. Joe Boakai could choose to just retire and stay home and just stay with his family. He lived a life in working government. He went as far as becoming the vice president. He would choose to just sit back. but you have the desire to transform the life of the ordinary people. You have desire to set the standard, to set the pavement for the next generation to come. And that's why you want to be the president in 2023. And we want to support him. We encourage every Liberian to come together and rescue our people from the hardship, the wicked and incompetent government of George Weah. We prepare and we continue to preach the message to our people, and we pray that people will give ears to us. Thank you, Ansony, for bringing us forward, and we hope to come more and more appearances here.
Gentlemen, I appreciate you coming. I think we had a spirited discussion. That's how I wanted it to be. I wanted us to fight for our country. And my role as the guy playing the journalist is to ask the question and push you, even if you're not satisfied with the question, because there's something in you, there's something you believe, and I want you to be able to stand for that and let the Liberian people see you for it. Thank you for coming. We will close with this quote or this statement from Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. The nation has been plagued with long-standing plunder and systemic corruption throughout, both in government and beyond. This is a reality we face, she said. In my work, when I'm quoting somebody to you, I've done my research. I don't come to misquote people. That is why Ellen left with us. She said this somewhere around 2016. That was when she and the Unity Party failed to win the war on corruption. And that war has not been won by any government anyway. So this is not an expression on the Unity Party. Like she put it right, it's not only in government, it's throughout our society, gentlemen. So don't think I'm picking on you. Folks, this is how we'll come to the end of this broadcast here. I focus on Liberia. The song says we are all Liberians, irrespective of what political side you stand on or you belong to. This is Liberia, and this is all of us country. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming. Let's talk off air.
We are Liberian. Liberia is our home. Liberian people. Liberia.